The Athanatos. Joseph stared at Daniel in horror as his mentor tore the head from the NSB agent, then cast it aside and kicked the body over the side of the building, where it landed with a bang atop a dumpster. The cries of fear below reached Joseph's ears, followed by the clumsy scurrying of a homeless man making for deeper shadows. Daniel was just standing there, panting, exhilarated from the thrill of the kill. Joseph fell to the ground. His dorsal fin crumpled painfully, but he ignored it. He was already getting used to his Gregorian manifestation, the body of a giant bipedal seahorse. "What's the matter with you?" Daniel said, without turning, though the almost imperceptible rustling of his silvery wings communicated his annoyance just fine. "You just murdered that man." Now Daniel turned, and it was obvious before he spoke that Joseph was about to get a harsh lesson in his new life. So, what did he do to you?" Daniel unfurled his wings and glided across the rooftops to stand before Joseph. The elder Athanatos jerked Joseph to his feet and looked him straight in the eyes. Joseph met Daniel's gaze, saw the almost unholy fire burning there, and was afraid again. "What did he do?" Daniel repeated. "He was in charge of that little squadron of beasties we just fought in the alley. More than that, he was a bad guy." "And what are you then? You just kill him? You just killed him?" "I mean, we're supposed to be angels? Is that what you think?" "Yeah, appearances can be deceiving, can't they? Kid, we ain't angels. We're Athanatos. I'm a scourge. It's my job to make sure that guys like this don't walk away. And you better get used to it, 'cause it's your calling too." Some believe the Athanatos to be distant cousins, after a fashion, of the Nightbane. Indeed, the two races seem to have much in common. The Athanatos, like the Nightbane, are supernatural shapeshifters with great and mysterious powers. Also, like the Nightbane, they are people who live normal lives until one day their true nature is revealed to them and they find themselves drawn into a great war that they never asked for and may want no part of, but most participate in nevertheless. Like the Nightbane and Guardians, the Athanatos are major players in the war for control of the Earth. Athanatos, like the Nightbane, have no true knowledge of their origins either. Yet despite these similarities, the two species are quite different. Athanatos are effectively half Gregorian, men and women whose mothers were implanted with just a tiny shard of Gregorian essence while the child grew and developed in the womb. Exactly where this Gregorian essence came from is a mystery to even the eldest Athanatos. For according to their own history, the Gregorians were driven from the world millennia ago. Shadowy legends speak of sleeping Gregorians, creatures unable to cope with the onslaught of sensory input from their physical forms, who reside in a comatose state, dreaming for all eternity. Many Athanatos believe that it is through these dreams that Gregorian essence still finds its way into the world and touches those special and chosen unborn children who are destined for something more. It's the nature of Athanatos to be grandiose and, as some Nightbane put it, rather uppity about their supernatural origins. The truth of the matter is that these tales are myth and legend, and have as much provable substance behind them as the legends of the Nightbane's relationship to the formless ones. That is to say, it's all theory. There's no proof outside of ancient stories handed down from generation to generation. While many Nightbane fight for survival and out of instinct, the Athanatos have adopted a word-of-mouth tradition that gives them a higher calling in the grand scheme of things, and one that naturally pumps their own self-importance. To the Athanatos, even the mighty Baal are but pawns and puppets of the true power behind the eternal conflict between light and dark, good and evil. While many Athanatos seek to defeat the Night Lords, they acknowledge that even if the Baal are eliminated, the war between good and evil is never ending and shall continue. There is a power of ultimate evil behind the Night Lords, and surely the Baal are not the only soldiers or pawns of the dark. After all, how threatening would the dark be if a cabal of powerful sorcerers on one small world were its only resources? To that one planet, perhaps pretty threatening. In the grand scheme of things, however, not very threatening at all. The Baal are extremely powerful, but it stands to reason that even if the Baal are at the top of the pyramid as far as minions of the dark, there must be others out there, skulking in the shadows, looking to serve and destroy. There is also an old axiom that where there is dark, there must be light. Figuratively speaking, perhaps the Nightbane are the light meant to oppose the dark. Or perhaps there is another force out there, quietly waiting, subtly manipulating events on its own to oppose evil. Take the Guardians, for example. Nobody knows who they truly serve, but they are creatures of light and seemingly driven to do good and stomp out the forces of evil. Is there a light to oppose the dark? Legends speak of the Guardians hailing originally from a world of eternal light, the Lightlands, the polar opposite of the Nightlands. These are the questions that keep Athanatos going, fighting for whatever cause they choose to champion. They are wild cards in the truest sense of the form. They are wild cards in the truest sense of the word, since as a race they have no overriding drive to fight for or against the Night Lords. Every Athanatos chooses his own path, and as such they find themselves one of the most divided and splintered of all factions in the war for Earth after Dark Day. Indeed, among the ranks of Athanatos there are factions within factions, each often vying for control and domination of others, while at the same time claiming allegiance to a higher source of good or evil. It is a chaotic and disorganized society the Athanatos live in, and many find that it is only through maintaining strict codes of behavior and ties to their individual and chosen paths that they can survive at all. Perhaps more than any other creature on Earth after Dark Day, the Athanatos are locked in an eternal struggle for survival, even among their own kind. They are a race who has lost its way and is seeking resolution, and yet they are so guarded and slow to trust that they may never find the answers they seek. The revelation. Athanatos live their lives as ordinary humans until sometime in their teens or early 20s, an event somewhat resembling the Nightbane becoming occurs. This event is known among Athanatos, who are rather fond of apocalyptic imagery, as the revelation. The revelation differs from the becoming in several important ways. First, it is never a truly spontaneous event, as the becoming, which often occurs without warning. Instead, a new Athanatos requires the touch of a kindred essence to stoke the flame that smolders inside. To do so, a focused and conscious effort is made on the part of an elder Athanatos, who directs a portion of his own energy towards the budding new Athanatos to help him reach a new level of awareness and power. Elder, more experienced Athanatos sense when a young one is ripe for the change and are compelled by instinct or some mystical sensing ability to seek him or her out. Whenever possible, the elder will try to first meet and speak with the young one to help prepare him for his new life. This means most revelations happen in a quiet place where the new Athanatos and his prospective mentor can talk and form a bond as teacher and pupil. Other times, the revelation occurs during a moment of severe stress, anguish, or danger, stoked by the elder's touch, but unrevealed until that critical moment. Here again, it is helpful if an elder has already made contact or is waiting in the wings to take action. For instance, perhaps a prospective Athanatos is running from a pack of hounds. An elder has tracked him down and helps the young one escape. They break down an alley where no innocents can see them. The hounds close in, the elder concentrates, and suddenly the new Athanatos bursts forth in all his glory. Together, the two finish off the hounds. Then the explanations begin. Often, enemy factions seek to destroy the child before the revelation occurs. In an effort to deplete their enemies' numbers while weak and unprepared, sadly, they all too often succeed, for even a moment of life-threatening danger is not usually enough to cause the spark of Gregorian essence to burst into flame unless he has first been touched, primed by an elder. There are rare occurrences when the revelation and transformation occurs on its own, usually when the individual is exceptionally self-aware or extremely good and kind. In each of these instances, however, the revelation happens under duress, usually triggered by an enemy preemptive attack or unexpected danger or crisis, in which innocent lives are in jeopardy. On rare occasions, a fallen one, obscurifim, deliberately triggers the revelation to make for a more interesting kill. But this too is a rarity. As one might expect, the realization that one is a supernatural being is a shock. Once the surprise of the revelation has worn off a bit, instruction and indoctrination into Athanatos' life commences. The young Athanatos is taught the story of wars and of light and darkness, of the celestials and infernals, of the Grigori, and about his new-formed body, divine purpose, and special abilities. Eventually, when the elder believes the young one is ready, he is introduced to other members of the faction and its allies, and is briefed on the enemy and the role he is expected to play in the war. Slowly but surely, he inevitably comes to accept his place in the grand scheme of things and adapts to a new life as a celestial or infernal warrior. Perhaps the hardest part of the life of a fledgling Athanatos is accepting that one can never return to the life he once knew as an ordinary human. It is far too dangerous for him, the Athanatos faction, and especially his mortal friends and family. Most Athanatos who attempt to return or remain linked to their old lives wind up dead or hurting someone they love dearly. Often young Athanatos secretly visit and watch over their former loved ones for a time, never revealing their presence, and weeping silent tears as the acceptance of what they have become and the nature of their new life slowly sinks in. These Athanatos are referred to as psyche prostatis, or protector spirits, by others, and are usually left alone out of respect, even oddly enough, by their enemies. Perhaps the pain of the transition becomes an integral part of who and what the Athanatos is, and so it has grown into an unspoken law among the Athanatos that a protector spirit is off limits as a target for attack. These melancholy prostatis are prone to emotional outbursts as they reconcile their soul with the conflicting emotions and acceptance of their Gregorian nature. Some never achieve reconciliation and simply fade away, unable to cope with what they are and unable to return to what they once were. These poor creatures are known as lost souls, and typically live as hermits in deep secluded wilderness areas, away from all other intelligent life forms. As time passes, many become insane recluses. Others eventually found by other Athanatos and are usually put down out of pity and remorse. The vast majority, however, learn to cope with their condition within a relatively short time span, usually a matter of months. Gregorians tend to choose strong and hearty souls for the sharing of their essence, and do not often misjudge the future character of the child they choose to join their ranks. Often, the sense of serving a higher purpose helps them come to terms with their supernatural nature. But other times, it is the thrill of battle or revenge or personal glory or just quiet acceptance. Sometimes it's a grudging uphill battle with the elder mentor guiding or nudging them every step of the way. In any case, most Athanatos eventually grow to become soldiers in the war between light and dark and fight with pride and conviction.